welcome to this quick demo on building Bird through collaboration using an approach which is open by design. So we want to show here how we can empower the Bird community to complement ECB updates to Bird when needed. This is done with the use of open source collaborative tools such as Eclipse Freebird Tools, Freebird and Freebird EIL for creating executable transformations. We note that banks and vendors have very good motivation to make updates that they need, as they have the responsibility and the consequence of correct and incorrect reporting. And we ensure this can be done in a way that allows easy contribution back to the ECB in the language of Bird that they understand, so it is easy to review and to integrate. So the foundations of this approach are that Eclipse Freebird Tools, an open source project, vendor neutral project, is used to configure Freebird with Bird's published SDD content. SDD is the single data dictionary, which is used in AnaCredit and ECB analysis, and Bird is a structured transformation of SDD for regulatory reports. So we describe that in a clearer fashion here. So SM Cubes is a flexible cube-based methodology that's used for describing Bird and SDD artifacts. The ECB Single Data Dictionary, SDD, is the mature building blocks of AnaCredit and ECB analysis, and these building blocks are attributes such as carrying amount, institutional sector, or type of instrument, and these things themselves have a set of allowed values. And Bird in turn takes these building blocks of SDD and puts them into structures, into a data model. And also it provides the transformation of these structures that's required to make regulatory reports. So if we consider the approach to Bird, to change management in Bird and SDD, it looks like this. So we have the Bird ECB team and we have expert groups with banking members, and they follow this approach where they do analysis and a proposal and a review, and then it's approved, and then it's merged to a sort of pre-release environment. So they might do this when a new regulation is to be treated in Bird, such as asset encumbrance. And then when this work has been done, it's released maybe every 3 months or so into the Bird SDD database within the ECB, and then that's used to drive the SDD, the Bird publication on the website. The website allows easy navigation of this SDD SM Cubes information, and it also allows extracts of the data as CSV files, and also provides a web API. So this is an excellent way to get a read-only view of SDD, but it doesn't allow users to edit these core artifacts. So we introduced to this what we call the flywheel methodology, where we apply a modern, agile, tool-supported software development cycle to produce testable, executable implementation of Bird and Bird transformations. And we include test cases with that. So the process focuses on removing any blockers to progress and increasing parallelization so that multiple people can work on these tasks at different times as they need and as they require. And we take the word flywheel here. So flywheel is a heavy wheel that stores kinetic energy. As I say, we're focused on moving forwards with momentum, and obviously, of course, birds fly, so we use flywheel as the name for the methodology. Now we aim, of course, for this work to be able to be contributed back to the ECB and included in official Bird artifacts. But to do this, we can't do our transformations in whatever we want to do, like Python or Java or this framework or that framework. We want to retain a grounding in the language used by the ECB for BIRD, which is SM Cubes. And so what we do here is we take in BIRD's published artifacts from the website, and we do our analysis, design, development. We create tests as acceptance criteria, and then we run the tests. We merge that into our, let's say, our test environment, and then we run all the tests, new and old. So we run all our regression tests against any change that we've done. And if a test passed, then we can provide that feedback to BIRD in the language of SM Cubes for the ECB to review and hopefully integrate. And also we can generate deployments of executable transformations. If we go to the next slide, we see that we have a bunch of tool support to help vendors and banks do this additional amendment to BIRD. So the methodology has tool support from Eclipse FreeBIRD tools and the FreeBIRD issue tracker and source control, and these are completely open source tools. These both build on top of mature open support for the software lifecycle in the widely used GitHub and GitLab environments. And we know that all transformation changes made are so that because they're executable, we can make sure that they are regression tested automatically using standard testing approaches like continuous integration and testing tools. So this means when a change is made to a transformation, we test immediately and automatically, and we can't even incorporate that change unless the regression tests pass. This is only possible with executable transformation rules. Otherwise, we make a change to transformation rules, and it might be months later that they're actually tested with real data, at which point we've sort of lost the context of why the change was made and potentially who made it and why. So we hope that this can increase resources providing feedback to BIRD, but also when a bank has a critical problem, maybe they need to report next week. Maybe they can't wait for the ECB to make a change. So we hope here that different people, like a RegTech vendor or a bank or the regulator or other BIRD enthusiasts and stakeholders, can do these changes, and then they can contribute, they can thoroughly test these changes, which takes a certain amount of time, and then they can give these contributions back to the ECB to easily review and approve after they've done all those tests. So this can really speed up, accelerate the resourcing and the effective parallel contribution to BIRD, and these we think can be contributed back as a proposal to BIRD in the language of BIRD. Also, however, if a bank or a vendor would like to fast forward things, they would like to introduce liquidity coverage ratio or FRTB, if they have the resources to do that and the need to do that and the desire to do it. Also, they can do that themselves. They don't have to wait for the core BIRD artifacts to be updated. If they have the people to do it, let them go ahead and do it. And that can also be contributed back to the community. So that's a lightning fast view of building BIRD through collaboration in an approach which is open by design. Thank you for watching.